Shalom, and welcome to Psychology of the Parsha for Parshat Yitro. Of course, Parshat Yitro is perhaps the most important Parsha in the entire Torah, because in this Parsha, we read about the most amazing and spectacular encounter of all times, of any time, and that is the giving of the Torah on Mount Sinai. The godly revelation, when the divine was totally exposed to the children of Israel. They saw God, they heard God, and we received the Torah, and from then on, it's all history, literally. And history is still being made. Interesting, there's a rule in the Torah, namely in the Talmud, that says, Hakol holech acharei hachitum. Everything goes according to the conclusion. That means if you want to really understand the value of something, you want to fully appreciate something, look at its completion, look at its last, the last line, look at the bottom line, and you get an idea of the whole thing. Look at the conclusion, and you kind of get to appreciate what this is really all about. You look at the very last verse in the Torah, in this Parsha. What does it say? Hashem gives them several laws, several rules, right after they experienced the giving of the Torah. Right? Hashem says to Moshe, this is what you say to the people. Well, of course, he tells them, don't make any idols. They saw images, they saw things. Guys, don't get confused. Don't go off the track. Don't get too excited here and then turn this into something bad, which sadly they later did with the golden calf. We won't get into it. And then he speaks about building the altar. And he says, you're going to build an altar, which is analogous or representative of the concept of serving God. It's not just about adhering to laws, to the do's and don'ts, but it's also about being passionately connected to Hashem, that service, which in the days of the temple was through the korbanot, through the sacrifices. Or better translated, the word korban means karov, coming close to Hashem, by becoming connected to Hashem. And nowadays especially, it's in the form of prayer and worship of Hashem. But the very last verse, Hashem says, do not go up my altar with steps, so that your nakedness not be revealed on it. If you look at it at the surface, okay, what it's telling us is something that's going to tell us again later in detail. You build a big altar on which you offer the sacrifices, make a ramp. The ramp raises you go up on the ramp, and gradually you go up without the need to lift up your feet much, which the Kohanim, the priests, they wore long robes, and they didn't have pants that went all the way down to their ankles, rather to their knees. And they went barefoot. So if you're going to walk on steps, every time you lift your foot, you lift the rope, you're going to reveal your nakedness. Fantastic. Amazing. Really? I mean, it seems like, okay, is this so significant that Hashem needs to tell it to us? First order of business, right after the giving of the Torah. Now we're going to implement it. We're getting down to business. So this is the first. Come on, does that make sense? Like everything in the Torah, there's the literal meaning, but then there's the different meanings. As you peel away the layers of the onion, and you get sometimes the homiletic meaning. You get also the lessons the Torah is teaching us. And what the Torah is teaching us here is so fundamental that this sums up the entire Parsha. This is the punchline of the Parsha. The word ma'alot, it says you should not go up on ma'alot, on my mizbeach, on my altar, means steps, literally. But also in Hebrew, in another context, the word ma'alah means a level. And where Hashem is telling us, when you come to my altar, when you come to the service of God, when you come to that worship phase, you come to religiosity, do not go up on my altar with levels, starting to judge, oh, look, I'm on a higher level, he's on a lower level, she's there, I'm here. In other words, don't start measuring levels thinking this Jew is better than another Jew. I am greater than him, I am higher, he's lower, I'm in a higher step, he's in a lower step. No. Because once you start to do that, what you're really going to end up doing is revealing your nakedness. And this is so important. Psychologically, when people become better in anything, especially when it comes to morals and values, and in this case serving God, being more religious, usually a byproduct of that is that you start to look down on others who are not like you, others who are not yet as refined and committed as you are. And that's what the Torah is telling us. True worship of Hashem is not when you start to look at yourself, I am on a higher level, someone else is on a lower level. Don't go up on my altar, meaning to my worship, with steps by judging others on what step they're on what level they're on versus you. And that is the punchline, the bottom line to the entire purpose of why Hashem gave us the Torah. Shalom.